Okay, hi there, everybody. Today we're going to do just a really quick overview and maybe a review, hopefully, of the circle of fifths. This is sort of fundamental theory practice, but often gets overlooked and is worth a little bit of a refresher occasionally, especially if you're getting into more complex topics like root progressions by fifth and that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and start. First things to remember when we're talking about the circle of fifths, we're also talking about an order of sharps and flats. So I like to do flats on the left. Let's see if I can clear that. There we go. Flats on the left of our circle and sharps on the right. The order of flats spells bead and then GCF. The order of sharps is exactly the opposite order. So F, C, G, D, A, E, B. So a lot of times I tell students, if you can remember bead, then you at least remember the first half of the flats. And if you can remember F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, you can remember the first, couple of the sharp side, and then you pretty much have the order. There are a couple of rules that go along with this when we're talking about key signatures. So as far as key signatures go for the flats, the last flat listed, or sorry, the second to last flat listed is the name of the key, okay? And I can actually put that up here for you in a different screen that's a little easier to see. So let's just stick to treble clef for the sake of simplicity for today. Okay, so let's just do the flats. So we said we had B, E, A, D, G, C, F. And they are traditionally in this position on the staff too. We don't generally have F flat way up top, okay? Just to keep everything in the middle of the staff. So we said that the key signature is the name of the second to last flat listed. So for example, and I'll get another color here. So if we had 4 flats, let's take that much, okay? Our second to last flat listed in our order, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Second to last one is A flat. That means 4 flats is the key signature of A flat major. Okay, so that's a fairly straightforward rule. It has to do with how the flats form whole steps and half steps around the major scale and where the tonic lies. It's probably a different topic for a different video, but that's the basic gist of finding the names of the flats. The only oddball thing to remember is that when we have 1 flat listed, okay, we don't have a second to last flat. We just have the 1 flat. In that case, we kind of look to the end here, and that's F major, okay? And so most of us that kind of grew up in band have played plenty of stuff in F major. Even in orchestra, we play in F major quite a bit, but that's sort of a common key. So that's one that maybe is just useful to memorize. In terms of the sharps, we said our sharps are F, C, G, D, A, E, and B. And again, they're in this setup in treble clef here. So in terms of the sharps, the last sharp that's listed in your key signature is the leading tone for the key. And remember, leading tone is the 7th scale degree. Okay, so that means we have to go up 1 more note to get to our tonic, and that's going to be the name of the key. All right, so I'll go back to my pink color here. So let's just take the same thing here. So we had 4 sharps, or sorry, we had 4 flats in our last example. So let's take 4 sharps. The last sharp we have listed, 1, 2, 3, 4, last sharp is D sharp. That's the 7th scale degree. We go up a half step, we get to E major. Okay. And there's no trick or caveat with this one like we had with the flats. Basically, this works, the same system works for any sharp key. So if we took 1 sharp, okay, That's F sharp. We go up a half step. This is going to be G major. So I'm going to write it up here. Okay. So that's the system for naming the keys. Once we are kind of comfortable with that, let's go back to our other screen here. There we go. Once we're comfortable with that, we can start manipulating them within the circle because we know what the order of sharps and flats will be. We can name the keys around the circle. So the circle of fifths looks a little bit like a clock, okay? Because we have 12 keys and we have 12 little spokes on a clock, right? So there we go. Our 12 o'clock position is always nothing. So it's C major, right? No sharps, no flats. Let's do the flats first. Okay, so we're going to go to the left. We said the flat with, or sorry, the key signature with one flat is B flat. And we put F major in there. The key signature with two flats. Remember the way that we name our keys is by looking at the second to last flat. So this is going to be B flat major, B flat and E flat. The one with three flats, B, E, and A is going to be E flat. Okay, and we keep on going around. We've got A flat has four flats, D flat has five, G flat has six, and all the way at the end, C flat has seven. And yes, we can have a C and a C flat. Okay, so we're going to see that with a couple of different keys. Okay, let's go ahead and do the sharps. Okay, sharps are going to go around to the opposite side. So the key signature with one sharp, F sharp, is going to lead us up to G, right? Key signature with two sharps, C sharp leads us to D, A, E. Uh-oh, I'm running out of room. Here's what we do is we actually have three enharmonic keys on the bottom. Okay. Like so. All right. And enharmonic is a fancy word. I'm going to write it over here. Enharmonic, meaning that they sound the same, but they are spelled differently. Okay. So we're looking at five. Now we're up to five sharps, right? We've got A sharp leads us up to B, and B is the same note, okay, in our equal tempered system. B is the same note as C flat, right? If you look at a piano, and even if you're not a pianist, it's good to have a piano reference sometimes, right? This is my shorthand piano here, okay. Right? Here's C. If we go one below, we get C flat, which is also B. Okay. So that's what we mean by enharmonic. It's the same note, just spelled differently. Moving around here, we've got F sharp is the same as G flat. And then we've got C sharp is the same as D flat. Now, from a performance perspective, I personally, when I'm doing my scales, I don't really think I'm playing C flat major. I think B major, you know, because I memorize my scales and I memorize the combination of fingerings that I have, and that's just how my brain works. Same for the flat side. I don't typically think C sharp major. I think D flat, right? So, you know, when you get around to the bottom of the circle, yes, it's a little bit messy, but we can kind of compartmentalize that because we've got the got these enharmonic notes. Now, we have one more thing that that we generally see on a circle of fifths, and that's the minor. Okay, on the inside of the circle, a lot of times what we will see is the relative minor of whatever our keys are. And again, relative minors, that might be another video for another time, but just as a quick review, relative minor is the sixth scale degree of each of these major keys. Okay, so looking at that, we've got A minor. Let's do the flats again, just because, you know, we went around that way the first time. D, G, C, F. And again, we're going to have some enharmonics down here. B flat, E flat, and A flat. Okay. Then going around the sharp side, E, B. F sharp is the sixth scale degree of A major. D sharp is the sixth scale, or sorry, not D sharp, C sharp. What am I doing? There we go. Is a sixth scale degree of E major. There we go. And then for our enharmonic keys, we're going to have the same kind of issue with the minors that we did with majors. So we're going to have G sharp is the enharmonic of B. Here's our D sharp is the enharmonic of F sharp. And then A sharp is the enharmonic minor for C sharp major. So that's our circle of fifths. Short, sweet, sort of, I hope.